Hey everyone, welcome to this Pop Culture Peach. I'm your host Robin, ready to share all the pop culture information I've seen, loved, and hated this past week. Featured on this episode is some of my favorite things from this past week. The television show Unreal Season 3 coming up, what the show is and where it's going this season, and Demi's YouTube documentary, Simply Complicated. But before all that, let's talk some news. So Justin Bieber got a stomach tattoo. So we know he's had, a lot of tattoos, but now his entire stomach is covered, which just further, exemplifies the reason why I call him a little punk. Of course, I was in love with him whenever I was younger, but I remember seeing him on Ellen for the first time and being like, this guy's really into himself. And since then, has confirmed that and has turned into quite the little punk. So his tattoo, you can look at it online, but it's got an angel, some skeletons, arches, an eagle, some word that's covered up by a lot of haze. His stomach looks black right now. It's awful. I hate it. I mean, you do you. You get the tattoos you want, you do what you want, but this is what I do. I give my opinions and I don't like it. So way to go, Justin Bieber, to do more things that bother the crap out of me. Moving on from that, Halsey has been added to the Jingle Bell lineup, which is awesome. She just did a cover of Charlie Puth's Attention, which got a lot of great feedback, including from Charlie Puth. I think it's amazing. I think Charlie Puth is a great singer, but Halsey really nailed it. I mean, her voice is just, wow, it's amazing. So y'all should go listen to that. But she's been added to the Jingle Ball lineup. Of course, Demi Lovato, Nick Jonas, Charlie Puth, Liam Payne, all of them will be there, plus Camila Cabello, Fifth Harmony, all of them. So it's going to be a great lineup. December 15th, you can buy tickets online. Taylor Swift dropped her new song, Gorgeous, and she's made it very clear that it's about her current boyfriend of about a year, Joe Alwyn. So some of the lyrics in it talk about her making fun of his accent and how she's got a boyfriend. He's much older than them. They're talking about Calvin Harris or Tom Hiddleston. The song, basically, from what it sounds like, is from whenever she first meets him and how gorgeous he is and how she hates him because she wants to be with him because he's so gorgeous and it's going to ruin her life if she's not with him. It's a very sweet song, very typical, lovey-dovey. In her song, Look What You Made Me Do, her saying the old Taylor's dead. Well, based on this song, that Taylor is still there and thriving. So, yeah, I'm very happy for her, and I hope this one works out. So Justin Timberlake is going to be the singer for the Super Bowl halftime show, and he has made it very apparent that what happened last time will not happen again. Of course, he's referencing when he had Janet Jackson come on, and they had this part where he was supposed to rip off a part of her outfit. Well, he ripped off a little bit too much, and her whole boob came out on live television, so that got them in a lot of trouble. She actually is not allowed back at a halftime show, which I think is a little ridiculous, but, the one coming up is going to be great. I'm super pumped. He's a great performer, great singer. I'm sure we can expect a lot of poppy songs, like from the movie Trolls that he did. So I'm excited about it. It's going to be really fun. David Letterman received the Mark Twain Award. That's really exciting, so good for him. Congratulations. Not much to say on that. Just wanted to congratulate him. And then getting back to Charlie Puth, of course, his song, How Long, his single dropped for his album that's coming out soon called How Long. Well, his music video just came out, and he dances in it. Now, maybe some people just think, oh, it's so cute, like, me. But when I watched it, I was like, this is so awkward. Who approved this? Why are they letting him do this? Why didn't they show him how to dance better? It literally is like a typical awkward guy dance that doesn't know how to dance. Like, it's just not good. It's so awkward. You've got to see it. It's very awkward. He's got like his little hands and his shoulders. He's like rolling them, and it's just not good. Bless his heart. I wanted it to be good. I wanted it to be good so bad because I support Charlie Puth. I love Charlie Puth, but it's just not. So if you need a good laugh, go check that out. And then the last thing I'm going to mention for news is the Hurricane Awareness and Relief event that happened at Texas A&M University. It was a big charity concert to raise money for disaster relief in Miami, Houston, and Puerto Rico, of course. Well, Lady Gaga was there, and so were all the former 5 presidents of the United States. Bill Clinton, George H.W. Bush Sr., and I guess Jr., and Barack Obama, of course, sorry. And then there's Lady Gaga, and she's in the back of the photo. And it just looks amazing because all 5 of these former American presidents are sitting there all smiling and looking very, presidential. And then you got Lady Gaga just in the back standing over all of them looking very graceful. And it's a great photo, and I want one just like it. So, of course, just further affirms Lady Gaga being amazing. So that's how we're going to end the news. Furthering Lady Gaga being amazing like she always is. So let's move on to our featured stories. My first featured story this week is talking about my favorite things from this past week. I couldn't decide which I wanted to feature it on. I couldn't decide because they were so small. And so I was like, you know what, let's just throw a couple of things in there and feature both of them. So the first thing that I really loved from this past week was I finally watched Macklemore's music video for his song Glorious. Love the song. Love his whole new album, actually, Gemini. Great album. But his music video is actually true, and so it's documenting him taking his grandma out for her 100th birthday. And they do a lot of crazy stuff. Of course, they go thrift shopping, and they get some pretty cool outfits. He takes her to a karaoke bar, and they sing, and it looks like she's rapping. They take her to an arcade, and then it ends with a stripper showing up for her. So that was pretty exciting. I actually saw Macklemore in an interview with Chelsea Handler saying that they told the stripper to come in and was like, don't be full blown going crazy. Don't touch my grandma. Don't do this. We're just kind of wanting it for the fact of you being here and not actually wanting you to strip on my grandmother. Well, the stripper did not listen. He went full, as Macklemore would say, genuine. The whole pumping, everything was all up on his grandma, and they actually had to ask him to leave. So it's a great music video. Again, it's called Glorious. You can go look at it on YouTube. Definitely check it out. It's adorable. Great song. Great guy. It's awesome. And then my other favorite thing from this week was the episode of the Mindy Project from Wednesday. So I've been kind of saying that, it hasn't felt that funny. It hasn't felt that awesome. Like, what I've loved from the Mindy Project this season just hasn't been it for me, which is super disappointing because it's the final season. Well, this episode, called The Midwife's Tale, Season 6, Episode 6, finally did it. This was the episode I was waiting for. It felt like all the episodes before that made me fall in love with the show to begin with. It was hilarious. Of course, Ike Barinholtz, who plays Morgan on the show, just hilarious, cracking me up. And so it basically is about Mindy and Morgan. They see Brendan, who, I don't know if you guys remember, he's a midwife, and Mindy can't stand him because the midwives are saying, that's not real medicine, you're not a real doctor, and so just that kind of back and forth. Well, they see Brendan at the subway about to jump off and commit suicide, and they save him, and basically he was doing that because his brother, who he runs the midwife practice with, is just a jerk. His brother's name's Duncan, and he's basically taken over and did all these new things, and it's just become this complete jerk. And it's funny because Mindy brings up Frozen. It's like, what about Frozen? Sibling love conquers all. And Duncan's like, no, Frozen, I interpreted Frozen as being one sibling getting all the attention. Just completely who interprets Frozen as that? A deranged man, Duncan, on the show. And it's funny because Morgan interpreted Frozen as reindeers are better than humans. So not really relevant, but hilarious because it's Morgan. So go watch it. It's on Hulu. I don't want to give away too much, but more on Tamara's pregnancy and Morgan being the father, which we already know, but more on that. And honestly, in this episode, I saw a lot more character development, which is what I've been wanting in Mindy. All along, she's been wanting this ideal marriage, ideal family, and wanting to fall in love with her one true love. And Mindy's kind of realizing that it's not as important as she once thought. But it seems like there's a little bit of hope. It seems like the episode ends with her still thinking that love does exist, and it is worth it. It just shouldn't be the center of everything. So, great episode all around. Go check it out. My second featured story of the night is about a television show on Lifetime called Unreal. So, the third season has been announced to premiere on February 26th, and I'm super excited about it. This show is phenomenal. So, I know I've mentioned before, I hate The Bachelor. I hate The Bachelorette. I think it's so stupid. Everything about it. Well, one thing that has fueled my hatred for it is this show. So basically, it's supposed to be kind of like a satire in a way, but it's more of a drama. There's funny parts, but it's not a comedy. It's definitely a drama. And it's supposed to kind of be about the life of this woman, Sarah Gertrude Shapiro. Apologize if I pronounced that wrong. But she was a producer on The Bachelor for 3 years. And the show is based on her experiences. So instead of the show, so it's like a show about a show. So in Unreal, it's based around these producers for a show called Everlasting, which is supposed to be like The Bachelor, where they have one male bachelor, and then they have a whole bunch of women competing for his love. And so there's a lot of manipulations, death cover-ups, it gets super dramatic, love triangles, everything. And so it just kind of, it shows you what really goes on behind the scenes, how they'll fuel these people, these women, with alcohol and make them, cut them off from the rest of the world where they can't help but fall in love with this guy because it's the only guy there. And they just make them compete for it and talk about their deepest, darkest secrets and all of this stuff, and how the producers just manipulate the crap out of them, try to give them advice, but really all the advice they're giving them is just for better ratings. It's very intense, but very interesting. And even if you like The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, you can still watch this show. I mean, they're not directly calling out The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. You can watch this show and enjoy it, and honestly, it might open up your eyes. So you should definitely watch it. It's great. This season coming up, they've given this new idea. Oh, what if instead of a male suitor, it's a female suitor? So it's kind of like, how they had The Bachelor and then The Bachelorette. Well, now that's kind of the transition that the show Everlasting has taken inside the television show Unreal. Kind of confusing, hard to talk about, but it is an awesome show. I fell in love with it. I've been waiting for this 3rd season, and it's going to be really good. So go check it out for sure. It's on Hulu. So there is that. And then my last featured story of the night is about Demi Lovato's documentary on YouTube entitled Simply Complicated. I watched it this weekend, and honestly, it reaffirmed what I already knew about Demi Lovato. Not only is she a BA woman, but she is strong as heck. She is one of the strongest females I have ever paid attention to in the media world. I mean, she's amazing. There's so much I didn't even know that she was struggling with, like cocaine addictions and bulimia. I mean, she had to go into rehab several times, and she even mentions in the documentary, and I'm not one to really talk about this, but she has the documentary about it, and you will see it, but she talks about how she was diagnosed with bipolar disorder. And of course, I had no idea about that. So it was really cool to see all of this and understand what's been going on with her for years. I mean, I watched her on Camp Rock when she had her first big break, and that she was struggling with stuff then. And then whenever she went on tour with the Jonas Brothers, I didn't go to it, but I knew it was happening. She was going through stuff with that. Then whenever she got her show Sunny with a Chance, I mean, throughout all of this, she was going through so much, even while on Disney. I mean, Disney was part of, not necessarily the corporation, but just kind of the vibe there, making you feel like you're having to be perfect and not mess up at all, was part of the pressure that I think that affected her. In fact, I know because she talks about it. So definitely go watch it. You'll learn a lot. I remember me and my sister started watching X Factor, and she was one of the judges, and we found out that entire time she did not have a cell phone, because that was the source of a lot of, that was how she would, contact her drug dealers and deal with all that and contact those people who were leading her down these bad roads. So she didn't have a phone. She was living in like a sober apartment with 4 other people working on sobriety. So she was going through a lot of that time and working on herself, and we didn't even know it. So it's an awesome documentary. As she talks about stuff, they'll show her recording her new songs for her album that just came out, Tell Me You Love Me. You've got to listen to it. And it's awesome to watch the documentary because she'll start singing some of those songs in the studio, and you see the making of those songs, and you kind of get like backstory on them. Why she was singing this song, what it really means to her, and how it actually does apply to her life. And these are songs that she's been living. It'll give you a better appreciation for the album, not just because it's amazing music that sounds great, that has really fun music to it and awesome lyrics, but you'll realize that this is her life, and this is the realest album she's put out yet. So go listen to it. Go watch the documentary on YouTube. It's like an hour and 18 minutes. Best hour and 18 minutes you'll spend doing anything this week, I promise you. Go check it out. That's why it's featured on my show this week, because she deserves it. So go Demi Lovato. I love you. You're amazing. Keep doing you and being strong. So moving forward, we have some things that we get to look forward to this week and further down the street. So Taylor Swift, if you follow her on Instagram like I do, she has uploaded a teaser for her Ready For It music video premiering on Thursday. And guess what? She's naked? So she's kind of got this like bodysuit thing, kind of like in Lucy, okay, so I'm forgetting her name, and I'm the worst person ever, but how she's got this bodysuit where it looks like she's naked, but she's not, it's just really tight. So it's very interesting. I'm excited to see the music videos premiering on Thursday. It kind of looks like a bunch between Lucy and Tron, but also like the Destiny video game and like some weird like witchcraft stuff, I don't know, all mixed together into this music video. Seems super intense, and I'm excited about seeing it. So you should be too. You have that to look forward to coming out on Thursday. Then there's a movie coming out based on a book written by Agatha Christie called Murder on the Orient Express. It's coming out November 10th, and this is going to be so exciting. The premise of it is that they're on a train, there's 13 strangers, a murder happens, and one guy is trying to figure it all out. The cast is killer. They got Daisy Ridley, who of course was in the new Star Wars movie, is playing Rey. You got Johnny Depp, who I'm not going to tell you who Johnny Depp is because if you don't know, like, what is happening with you, go figure stuff out and watch pop culture, and I don't even know, but figure that out. Michelle Pfeiffer, Josh Gad, Judi Dench, Willem Dafoe, and Penelope Cruz, and so much more. It looks really good. I want to go see it in the movie theater because it looks like a great popcorn flick. Like, it looks great. So you have that to look forward to too. It's November 10th, so it's a little far away, but you know, it's going to be a good movie, and I'm excited. So, we all have our salty moments, of course, and I'd like to share mine with you because maybe you can relate. I don't know. But Alec Baldwin for president, how does that sound to you guys? To me, it makes me very salty. I don't get political on this show, and I don't plan on getting political, but let's just look at it. Alec Baldwin plays Donald Trump, and he's won an Emmy for it, and he's done great playing him. And one of the reasons why I think he does a great job playing him is for one reason. I have always said that I felt like Alec Baldwin is the liberal version of Donald Trump. He's very much like Donald Trump, in my opinion. Let's not forget the voicemail that he left his daughter, Haley Baldwin, and how he spoke to her. He just seems very much like him. And he actually tweeted out, his foundation tweeted out, if I run for president, think of how entertaining the debates would be. Really, dude? Like, you're further pushing the same things that people are already complaining about. Like, what the heck, dude? It's not about being entertaining. That's why I'm salty. It's not about being entertaining. Do not run for president. Please don't run for president, Alec Baldwin, because I know you're listening to my podcast right now. Don't run for president, please. It's funny. Somebody actually tweeted back to him and said, I don't want entertainment. I want a real president. And they put that in all caps. And the post was actually retweeted by that Alec Baldwin Foundation's account. So I'm sure it was just a joke. I'm sure he's not really going to run. I'm sure. Just keep telling myself that. But because I don't want to leave the show ever on a negative note, I had a great peachy moment for you guys. I wanted to cry. This makes me so happy. John Stamos, of course, played Uncle Jesse on Full House. John Stamos proposed to his girlfriend, Caitlin McHugh. Guess where? Disneyland. The only better place to propose than Disneyland is Disney World, because Disney World in Florida is so much better than Disneyland. I'll fight anyone on it. But he proposed to his girlfriend at Disneyland, and the way he did it was so amazing. He basically cut together a whole bunch of scenes from different Disney and Pixar films of the most romantic moments. He cut them all together in one reel, and guess how he ended it? Guess. He ended it with a scene from The Little Mermaid with Sebastian saying, ask the girl. Go ahead, ask the girl. And then he asked her, and she said yes, and they're getting married, and I never knew that was the way I wanted to be proposed to until it was created by John Stamos. But that is the way. Like, that is the best thing ever. Way to go, John Stamos. That is awesome. Way to go, Caitlin McHugh, for being with him. I mean, that is just so cute. That's like so many girls' fantasies, I feel like, already with Uncle Jesse, but that's just amazing. Way to go, John Stamos. Like, I have nothing to say. I have nothing to say else about that. Surprisingly, nothing to say. So good job, and congratulations, you two. I'm excited to hear about the wedding, if the proposal was that amazing. But thanks, everyone, for listening. Remember, follow me on Twitter, Robin_McIntyre. Send me any suggestions or questions that you have. I'll be back again next Monday at 7. And remember, if you're not listening live, you should be. You get the chance to ask me questions and you get to be unmuted. I know I upload all of these the next couple of days online and I'm sharing them like crazy because I want you guys to listen regardless on what platform. But listening live really is a cool experience. You can send me questions. You can call in. I can unmute you. You can be a part of the conversation. No one's done it yet. You could be the first one. And all you have to do is download the app. It's free. Unmute. Just download the app. Like that easy. You follow my podcast, This Pop Culture Peach, if you didn't know, that's what this podcast is called. And then be ready to listen live every Monday night at 7, no matter what. So I hope you guys have a great week. Thank you again for listening. And if you are listening live, thank you so much. I love you all.